Yigal, thank you so much for catching up today. It's always a pleasure to see you. You know, AT&T has really been a recognized leader in telecom for well over 150 years now, you know. And from your perspective, what do you see as the most pressing challenges facing the industry today? And how can we actually partner in this space, collaborate to address some of these challenges through innovations?
Sure. First of all, Raghav, thank you for having me in your podcast. I think before I even get into the challenges, I think we should take a moment and recognize the fact that it's actually a great time to be part of our industry. If you look what happens just here in North America, massive investment in infrastructure, nationwide 5G network, transition to standalone core. You probably know that we just passed 30 million living units on our fiber build, and we already said that we're going to get to 60 million by the end of 2030. We just launched our nationwide 5G RedCap network, so massive investment across the board. I think we're finally seeing a true shift in the architecture. It used to be some crazy operators, but now you see this across the board, transition to cloud native, programmability, openness, and the last one is the emergence of AI, whether it's generative AI, agentic, and I think that if you bring all of this together, you finally get a chance to make a tremendous change in how we build, operate, and engineer large-scale network. Add to that the fact that now we can expose API and really change the way we're monetizing the network and new business models. So it's actually a pretty exciting time to be part of the industry, but nothing comes without challenges. Some of them are good. You know, you're in an industry where the traffic is growing year over year. That means that people demand critical infrastructure and connectivity. I think speed is something that we're going to have to address. Our industry is used to work in cycles of Gs every 10 years. That can't be the case any longer. In times of AI and cloud and software, we need to move to continuous innovation and continuous progress. We must move way faster. As a subset of this, I think skill adjustment is going to be important. I think that our industry have extraordinary talent and extraordinary institutional knowledge. And these are people that has been training themselves over the years between generations. However, as you move to cloud and software, you need new cloud engineering skills. You need the ability to take advantage of AI. Highly distributed cloud infrastructure requires highly distributed systems. Like there's augmentation of skills that we need to bring over. So I think these are some of the challenges that we're seeing. Security is another one. As your network is more distributed, the threat is getting more sophisticated, and we all need to improve our security posture or take it to the next level. And so I think these are the key challenges. As a partner, there's probably a couple of things. One is you always have to help us to understand what's around the corner. Like, what are we not seeing? You have a view, you work with many of your customers around the globe. We don't think we know everything. We don't think we're doing everything. So every time we have the opportunity to sit down with you guys and, hey, there's an idea about this or that, absolutely, these are the things that you can help us. And of course, as I said, speed. We are at the time of software. Like, if you can push us forward in terms of how we think about CI/CD pipelines and things like this, I think that's going to be really beneficial.
No, thanks, Yigal. It's clearly a very exciting moment for us in the industry. And I think, you know, your notion around, you know, the speed, the need for, you know, embracing AI, automation, you know, all of these things are going to be extremely important as you try to progress. There was one particular area that I wanted to kind of dive a little bit deeper on, is you guys at AT&T have been actually one of the first operators around the world that have really embraced, you know, not only the cloud, but public cloud in many cases, and so on and so forth. And so as you modernize your 5G network, and, you know, how critical is this cloud native architecture? And what are really the attributes that, you know, really bring out the value and with working with technology partners in that. Any insights there would be helpful.
Sure. So first of all, let's correct the things here. We're leveraging public cloud stack.
Yeah.
All of our 5G standalone core, non-standalone, everything that we virtualize, it's all running in our own data centers, on our own hardware, and operated by us. But we are leveraging public cloud stack, in our case, Aon, Azure Operator, Nexus. And what is right is that we've been the first, actually, that moved to virtualization of network function. That was more than a decade ago. And at that time, there were not too many options of using cloud or cloud stack. So we built our own team, and we leverage OpenStack. And over the years, this is what we've done. Around 2019, 2020, we realized, okay, that doesn't scale this way. And anyways, we have to move to the next version to support standalone core. Looking around and leveraging our relationship with Microsoft that we already had in terms of our IT workloads, they saw the value of the team, and that's what created that transaction that we've announced in 2021 when they took our cloud engineering team. And we used that same stack, and over time, we've been waiting for Nexus, which is the telco-grade version of it. And the idea behind this, from our perspective, was really about, Raghav, you and I talked about this many times.
Yes,
you know my opinion. Cloud providers are really good in cloud. Nokia is really good in network functions, in RAN and network elements. And we're good in bringing those things together. And so we always thought that the cloud providers can help us. We can tap into their innovation, automation, tools, all of the things that make them large cloud providers. And fast forward, that is exactly what we're seeing. This is exactly what we're experiencing. Things that used to take us weeks are taking days. Things that took months are taking weeks now. We're able to leverage a lot of the automation and tools that comes with a cloud stack from Microsoft. We have a multi-vendor standalone core ecosystem. And we were able to use those tools to actually bring all of our vendors into the same CI/CD pipeline, which is not something I could tell you 2 years ago.
Sure.
And now, leveraging those tools, we can do all of the development, the testing, the scanning, the deployment, the configuration, all from the same pipeline. So again, the challenge is just to put things in perspective. US, large geography, you want to take care of low latency. Now imagine the exercise is that you have dozens of functions that are running on several dozens of network or cloud pods around the nations, and each one of them may be a little bit different because the UPF needs to be closer to the customer, and the UDR or the subscriber management can be more of a nationwide. So being able to run all of this and deploy and configure a new version only can be done with automation. There's no other way to do that. So that was the value for us, and we're actually experiencing this, and we're very satisfied with where we are on this.
No, thanks for sharing that, because it is very true that as you go into the embrace mode of the cloud infrastructure, automation is a clear benefit that you get from it, and it's important to bring that in to be able to drive all of the things that you talked about, the pipelining and all of that, to drive innovation and get capabilities sooner, as opposed to trying to do large deployments, which obviously do not get you the innovation fast.
Exactly.
So I just want to get to another topic here, and this is really about Open RAN, right? Open digital architecture. You participated in open source communities for AI. These are very noteworthy things that you're doing. How do you see these open frameworks support you in the vision of really achieving full network autonomy and observability? Any thoughts in that area?
Raghav, I don't know how you get to autonomy without openness. It's basic. It's what I said at the beginning. Like, there's massive investment in infrastructure, so you renew your infrastructure. The architecture is changing. We're moving to an open architecture, to cloud native.
Right.
And the ability to now take advantage of AI or as agents or generative AI is based on the fact that your network is open. Otherwise, how do you do a closed loop?
Fair enough.
You can do things today that may be in sequence of 15 minutes, but if you want to really get to a real time, that's what you have to do. And for that, again, you know the story, Raghav. We've been very open about our openness for years, both on the IP layer, on the optical layer. You ask about the RAN, you know what we're doing there. We're going to have an open programmable wireless network. Some of this is obviously, as you open up the ecosystem for more players, you foster innovation, you reduce your cost, but at the same time, it's not only about that, it's really about building intelligent network. If you deploy something like an SMO, service and management orchestration, that is a platform for innovation on which data can fly in from your RAN platforms, and on top of this, you can build what we call in our industry RApps. And RApps can be all kind of innovative ideas by developers, and some of them can be AI models, and some of them can be other things. And it's all about energy saving or spectral efficiencies and automation, which again, this is what autonomous networks is an audacious goal. I don't think anyone is there 100% yet. DDW was last week. That is a key theme over there. And I like the model that they build in terms of the 5 level of autonomy, because this is something, it's a framework that you can benchmark yourself against. And I think that's the goal. And whether you're 100% there or not, that's the idea is how do you move that way. And I think openness and using standardized APIs and open source, these are all capabilities that are so important to get to that autonomy. Otherwise, it's just hard.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more. This whole notion of autonomous networks driving all the way from L1 to L5, and today, maybe our industry is between 2 and 3. Some are ahead, some are, kind of on a journey and a path towards that. And I think this will become more and more relevant in terms of driving the automation.
By the way, you mentioned 2 and 3. I think the challenge is always about network is not one thing.
Correct.
Right? In our case, we have a wireline network, we have a mobility, we have RAN, different domains. We still have legacy. So in legacy, we may be in 0. And even inside of the domains, you may have areas that may be 4.
Correct.
That doesn't mean that your whole network is at that level. So that's the art here. How do you manage between different domains? And should you call one thing across the network, or you're focusing on domains? But that's the evolution we're going to see. Yeah. And but there are some areas that we feel very comfortable with higher levels.
Yeah, I think you've got to solve this problem at a domain level, and then you've got to solve it at a service level on top of that as well. So, clearly you have to be able to do it across the network, across all domains. One of the areas that is, we've been all looking at from an industry perspective is this evolution of network APIs and the ecosystem out there. And although the adoption has still been relatively slow, there's a lot of possibilities here that we can do as an industry. So how are you actually approaching this strategically, and are there any particular use cases that you're seeing that look promising for you in this whole notion of APIs?
Sure. And again, before this, let's start with celebrating the state of the industry. This is really exciting time, new business model, new ways of monetizing our networks. And again, Raghav, we've tried to do this as an industry 10 years ago in the beginning of LTE, and we failed. We didn't understand API, cloud, software. I think fast forward, we're way more sophisticated as an industry understanding this. And I think as an industry, what we've accomplished over the last 18, 24 months is extraordinary, is remarkable, right? In terms of standardizing API, whether it's in Camara or in TM Forum or in Open Gateway. And now we have to focus on the demand. And those standardized APIs are critical for this, because you want to create a global standardization, because no developer wants to build an application or a service for one operator in one country. We're approaching this a little bit different. Again, we want to take advantage of our intelligence, programmable, converged network. We have a fixed network and a wireless. Typically, we're talking about wireless when we talk about network APIs, but for us, you can think about an experience of on a smartphone or a mobile device, and then walking home into your home CPE, and the experience continues, because again, it's a converged network. And once you have this and you put that software layer that allows you to expose API, you have a great platform for innovation. And we're thinking about this in different buckets. First one is our own first-party application. We have an API-first mandate. We're trying to follow it. AT&T Turbo is a great example of how we build a service based on those APIs. Another area is the wholesale. Like, how do we expand our wireless experience through MVNOs? How do we expand our fiber experience through open access providers? It's all based on standardized API and how quickly we can onboard a new partner. And the last one is probably the one that is most exciting, which is the developers. And this is where, one, we've partnered with other telcos to build this Aduna venture that brings several operators together and being able to expose on our behalf APIs to hyperscalers and developers. But not only, we think we're going to have our own standardized APIs through that channel, but at the same time, we may have our differentiated APIs that may take advantage of things that are not in the standards. And there's enough use cases that may be working on a vertical way. And so I think the initial thing that we're going to see is around authentication, around fraud prevention. Over time, everyone is looking up for QOD or differentiated experience over network, or how do you expose slicing. I think we're partnering together as part of our API accelerator that we have, which is a place where we can expose things that are still maybe not productized, to get some feedback from developers. And this is for the developer also to get a sense of what's coming. So again, pretty excited about this. It's really an opportunity for us to think about different business model and different ways of monetizing our network.
Yeah. No, thanks very much. And actually, we started that partnership with you also on APIs, and we're excited about that in terms of the possibilities. But do you think that are you looking at the network as much more of a platform that the ecosystem can connect into, very much like how the ecosystems have been built, by the hyperscalers? Do you envision a model like that, or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And again, we know our limitation as an industry. We're not going to be the one that chase the long tail developers. This is why you want to partner with hyperscalers and other platform as a service that has the relationship with the developers, and we just need to feed into that. But absolutely, that's the whole notion of intelligent, programmable, converged network. This is what allows us to open it up and being able to use different partnership and expose those capabilities and allow. And it's the same thing I told you about the SMO and having an ecosystem of RAPs that we couldn't tap into them today, right? The innovation doesn't exist only in 4 or 5 companies. They exist out there. And today, the barrier to entry for them to develop an app in the wireless domain is high. But now we're moving into this SMO RAPs domain where anyone can build it. Anyone can build it, and you just need to manage how you onboard them. And there's other things that's going to open up, like how do you different AI models and how you manage between them and conflict resolution. It's interesting challenges to go and figure out, but very exciting.
Oh, great. So Yigal, I want to get a little personal here, so if you don't mind. Nokia and AT&T, share a very, very long-standing partnership. We've done various elements of work with you in various elements of the network automation, security, core, other areas. How do you see us positioned, in the industry and in the market landscape. And what has been your experience working with us?
You said personal. I thought you were going to ask me about my hobbies or something.
We can also go there, so that's not a problem at all.
Raghav, you and Nokia are a wonderful partner of AT&T. We have a very long history of partnership. AT&T Labs, Bell Labs, it's one thing. Okay. And you're still playing a significant role in different domains in our network, in our wireline network, in our mobility network. All of our voice is running on Nokia. And at the end of the day, listen, these, at the scales of those relationships, this is not transactional. You're not selling me a car. And the only way it's going to work is based on relationship, on trust, and people. And I think this is the kind of relationships we have with Nokia. The things that we're working on in our industry are hard. And nothing is going to work flawlessly at the first time, at the first attempt. It doesn't exist. And the only way to get through those type of challenges is having this and knowing that anytime you'll be there for us, and we can call and you will jump to see how you can help. And Raghav, not once, something that even not related to Nokia, you would see something, you would call me and say, how can I help? And that the things that I think makes the relationship between companies. You've made a lot of progress in terms of software and cloud native and security posture, and we're benefiting from this. So all I'm asking is just keep doing it, keep challenging us, keep showing us the way. And again, these are the things where collectively we can shine. It's all about automation. It's all about CI/CD pipeline. It's all about speed. It's all about security posture. These are the things that are going to be important to any telco who is looking at this out there. And you can just help us with that and show us the way and keep partnering with us.
No, thank you, Yigal. Thank you very much. We certainly appreciate the partnership. It's always exciting speaking to you. You know, you bring that level of energy and innovation and thinking, which is, I think, so crucial to this industry. And I think anything that we can do, we are all in trying to figure out, you know, not only how to partner, but how to address challenges as we go forward. And I like that notion about, you know, sitting on the same side of the table and trying to figure out how do we do this together, not from a transactional perspective, but much more from a strategic partnership perspective. And I really appreciate the time. I know, you know, you're busy, and I appreciate the insights. There's a lot of learnings here. I think we'll get a lot of it. You know, the industry will learn from this as well. So
thank you
very, very much.
Great for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.